didn't do the down cam. Gosh, the amount of times I do not record this down cam. Oh, lordy. Luckily, mostly I remember about right now, which is the very beginning of the video, but gosh, we have gotten all the way through videos before, and it just, oh. Anyway, let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the brothers Murph, and this is Board Game Doosh, 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 Doosh. Highlight. That was like the big flashlight coming on, like, but light doesn't make sound. Board Game Highlight is a weekly segment where Mike or I take a game off the shelf behind us and we highlight it for you. And what that means is just simple, us talking about mostly why we like it and why we own it. And sometimes we like to highlight a game that we think no one really ever talks about and is not like that new hotness. And that is what this week is, because we're going to talk about a wonderful two-player game called Pagoda. Pagoda is a lovely, beautiful, simple little kind of abstract strategy game for two players that was turned on to us by one of our followers. And man, it is just a great little two-player game, two-player only, and I love two-player only games. But this is one, Pagoda by AEG and Pegasus Spiel, and it's just, Pagoda. I love Pagoda, and Pagoda is great. And so let's get it down to the table. Let's pop open the box and let's see a little bit why we love it. Whoo, we like it so much. All right, so this is Pagoda. Pagoda is a game where, again, you were trying to build pagodas. Now, what pagodas are is they are these very tall buildings that you see in like Japan and like Southeast Asia and like Thailand and Laos, I believe. These really tall, very beautiful, ornate buildings. It's got a very pretty cover. But these are the kind of pagoda, these are what pagodas are. So in this game, you are building these. And one of the cool things about this game is that it's a 3D game. That's why I have this camera over here and we have the little view right here, is because you are going to be building pagodas. And how you do that is you put out these little columns and then you build pagodas on top of them. And you are building the game up. And I wanted to have a side view because from below, this doesn't look that much different than like this because you can't see the 3D from above. So I do have a little side cam just to show you that. It's a very visually appealing game because it's 3D. People love 3D games. It's just, they're just where it's at. So components you have is you have all of these, and these are different columns. So these are columns at the different floors of the pagodas, and the roof will go on top of, and they come in 5 different colors: purple, green, blue, red, and gold. You're also going to get your own little player board thing here, and then 5 cards which are open information, and then 2 cards which you also have, but these are closed information. So a little overview of the game is that you are stacking stuff and making pagodas. So how you do that is, I said, there are all different columns. Now for each floor, the columns all have to be the same color. So when we have the ground floor, there's no color that it has to be. It can be any color as long as they're all the same. So if these all are green, that's totally fine. But then on my turn, if I wanted to start a different one, I could, and I could then choose the color that I wanted this one to be. So if I wanted this one to be blue, oh cool, boom, now it's blue. And again, all the columns in a single floor have to match each other. And then once you've built 4 columns, you get to put a pagoda tile. A pagoda is just another floor in the pagoda. And so the floor you put down on top of these columns has to match the column. So in this case, this one is green. So I have to put a green floor on top of that one like that. And then now we can build another floor on top of that. But as you can see, the columns that this pagoda tile wants are red. So now if you want to start building up on this one, you have to put red columns. So you put red columns down, and then once that's done, you put a red roof. And then that floor rather, will tell you what kind of columns it wants. Now this one, you can see this red roof wants red columns, so then you would put red again, but the next one here wants purple, then green, then yellow, and then blue. So all the colors are always represented. So you can see there's the base floor, then 1, 2, 3 floors in there. Once you get to the 4th pagoda tile, it actually becomes a roof. On the back of all the pagoda tiles are these cool thatched roofs, which are very, very pretty. So you're going to put a roof on there, and then the roof would like a spire up top, and then it's going to be 2 columns of that color stacked on top, and then you get the little pagoda. And that is a finished pagoda. So that is the object of the game, is you are vying for control of the pagodas and you're trying to build them, because the columns that you built, the higher you build the columns, the more points you're going to get. If you build columns on the ground floor, you're not going to get that many points. If you build columns on the 4th floor here, you're going to get a lot of points. And so you want to try and build columns high up if you can, but also not necessarily give your opponent the ability to do the same. The game is going to go until 3 full pagodas are built. Once 3 are built, the game will end. So that's a little bit of the overview. Let's get into a little bit about what you do on your turn. So on your turn, you can do 3 things. That's 6. We want 3 things. Those 3 things are: you can build columns, you can build pagoda tiles, or you can build roofs. Those are the only 3 things you can do, and you can do all of them. It's not like you have to choose to only build columns this turn or only build pagoda tiles. You can do them all. And all the 3 actions you can do revolve around turning in your different cards. So let's go into the first and most common one, that's building columns. Anytime you want to build a column, you are going to turn in 1 card of that color, and you're going to put it specifically long ways like this, not like this, and I'll explain why in a bit. So boom, 1 card equals 1 column. If I want to build another column, boom, I could do that. And if I want to build, let's say, a 3rd column, hey, I have another purple right here, I can build a 3rd one like that. You can only build 3 columns on your turn. That's it. You can't build any more. So you cannot just build forever. You can only build 3 columns. So where you put them is strategic and is up to you. Now, as I said, for each column you build, you get points. If the columns that you build are on the ground floor like they are here, they're each worth 1 point. If they're on the 2nd floor, they're each going to be worth 2 points. If they're on the 3rd floor, they're each going to be worth 3 points. Oh gosh, it's getting hairy. If they're on the 4th floor, quick, they're each worth 4 points. It's a very ugly pagoda. Don't listen to that pagoda, it's stupid. So the higher you build your columns, the more points you're going to get. So that's building columns. You turn in cards face up like this in the color that you want to build them, and then you can build them anywhere where it's legal. And that's the first action. The second action is building pagoda tiles. Those are the different floors of the pagoda. So let's say we have this situation right here where we have 4 blue columns that is ready to go for a pagoda tile. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a card of the matching pagoda tile, and again, this one has to be blue because we have blue columns, and you're going to put it sideways out in your player area, and then you're going to put that pagoda tile on top of that. So it's nice because it only takes 1 card to build a pagoda, but they're not nearly as easy to build because you have to have all 4 columns ready to go before you can build one. Now, I said it's very important that you put this sideways and that you put columns upright like this. And the reason is because, again, you can do all of the actions in your turn. You can build 3 columns. You can build as many pagoda tiles as you want. Again, they're harder to do because you need to make sure you have the right amount of columns, and you can only build 3 on your turn, but you can build as many as you want. So the reason why you have it like this is because you need to make sure you're keeping track of what cards you're using for what. So let's say this is how it is right now. I have 2 blue columns built, and I'm taking my turn. What I can do is I can spend these 2 blue cards as columns, build the next 2 columns, get my points, which in this case is on the 2nd floor, so they're each worth 2. I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can then spend another blue card to put a pagoda on there. And then I can say spend a green card to put a green column right there because this one wants green on top of it. So that's why it's important to put certain things like this so you remember what you did it for, because you don't want to accidentally cheat and be like, oh, did I use this card for a column or whatever? And so that's why you put columns upright and then pagodas and roof tiles on their side like that. You don't necessarily have to. It's just a good thing to do in practice. And then whenever you build a pagoda tile, you also get that corresponding color's special action. You get a special power from building pagoda tiles. So pagoda tiles also only give you 1 point when you build them. No matter what floor they're on, it's always 1 point. But the real benefit is you get a special power. In this case, I get the blue Buddha power, and I'll explain the powers once we get through the rest of the game. I'll go over the powers a little later, but it is nice because you do get special abilities for building pagoda tiles. Okay, and the last thing you can do is build roofs. So again, roofs are the opposite side of the pagoda tiles. And again, you can only build roofs once it's going to be the 4th pagoda tile. So in this situation right here, it is that situation. So what would happen is building a roof is the same as building a pagoda tile, plus columns. So you can see on the roofs, they still have a column space. That's because at the very, very top of the roof, there's gonna be a spire that goes up like that. And when you build a roof, you have to build the roof and the spire, which is just like building columns, and you have to be able to do it all in one action. And the spire is 2 columns high, 1 column and then another column right on top of it. So it takes 3 cards to build a roof. 1 card for the actual roof, in this case it's red, and then this roof wants 2 golden spires on top of it, so we have to turn in 2 gold cards. And then we get to put the roof on top like that, and then we have to stack 2 gold columns on top of it, and then that pagoda is complete. Because building a roof is also considered building a pagoda tile, I also will get the power that goes along with that color, in this case the red lantern power, and it's worth 6 points. 6. Oh, don't touch my pagoda. So that is building a roof action. And those are the 3 actions that you can take on your turn. You can build columns, but you can only build 3. You can build as many pagoda tiles as you want and as many roof tiles as you want, as long as it's all legal and all makes sense. And that's it. It's a very simple game, very simple mechanics, very simple what you do, but the strategy is actually pretty high because throughout the game, you're trying to make sure you don't give your opponent the ability to score a ton of points. And like I said earlier, the game will end once 3 pagoda tiles are built. We'll finish out that round, and then whoever has the most points wins. And that's it. There's no end game scoring. There's nothing. Once the 3rd pagoda is built, that is it, and the game is over. So now that we've gone over the general stuff of the game, let's get into these powers a little bit. These powers are super sweet and really what turn up the game and ramp it up, especially with the strategy. So when you build a pagoda tile of that color, you bring this over to the very edge here, and then you can use that power twice before it depletes. And then to get that power back, you have to build another pagoda tile with that color, and then it would recharge again. You can use it twice, and so on and so forth. So let's just go down the line. The first one we have is the purple fan power. This allows you to hold 2 more cards that are hidden in your hand. You always have the 5 open cards and your 2 hidden cards, but if you tap the purple power, you get to have 2 more cards in your hand. And that's just nice. More cards means more variability. You can do more stuff with them. And that's it for purple. Super simple. Gold is next. Again, you can use this one twice before it depletes. Gold is super nice. Gold you have to use at the very beginning of your turn. And what you can do is you can discard as many cards as you want from your hand, and then you get to replenish all of those cards, which is super sweet because you're like, cool, I don't need or want any of these cards. Boom, gonna tap my gold ability, get rid of anything I don't want, and then I get to draw more, and hopefully I get what I need. And that's what the gold ability does. Super simple, easy, I love it. Next, we have the green bowl of rice ability. What this one does is allows you to turn in 2 cards of the same color and build any column of your choice. So this pagoda here wants a red column, but let's say I don't have any red cards. I can go ahead and turn in 2 blue cards, tap this power, and then build a red column. So now we have the blue Buddha power, which works the exact same way as the green power, except for it's with pagodas, not columns. So in this situation, I need to build a green pagoda. Oh no, I have no green cards. Well, no worries. I can turn in 2 cards of the same color and then build a pagoda in any color that I want. That's blue, super easy. And the last one we have is the red lantern power. And this one is super, super simple. It means in your turn, when you tap it, you can build 4 columns instead of 3. That's really, really simple, but way, way more useful than you might think. And that is how you play the game. The game is super, super simple, super easy. But even though you only have 3 actions, the fact that you have these 5 little powers makes it so interesting because you can use any of these powers as much as you want as long as they're charged up. Once they're depleted, obviously you can't use them anymore. But it's very, very nice in the fact that you're like, okay, I'm gonna turn in these 2 cards and tap this ability and make a pagoda of my choice, and then I'm gonna tap this one so I can make 4 columns, and then I'm gonna turn in this card to make another pagoda. And you can do all these different combos and cool ways of doing stuff and end up scoring a ton of points. And it's just so, so interesting, especially the way the powers work. The powers make this game so, so much better. Without the powers, the game would be like, okay. I mean, it's pretty strategic, but there's not that much going on. It's a very simple game. But with these powers, you can start doing such cool, fun, awesome things. But so much of the strategy in the game, even taking away the powers, is just trying to not set up your opponent. And that's really hard to do. What you don't want to do is leave something like this, where there are 3 columns on there and only 1 more needed for the next floor. Because then your opponent's going to come and go like, okay, 1 green column, boom, turn another green, boom, and then they're done. And then you just gave them a bunch of points. You gave them a special ability. You don't want to essentially set up your player to get a bunch of points through columns, and you also don't want to set up your player to build pagoda tiles. You want to make them do that themselves. One thing that would not be smart on my turn is to build all 4 columns and then build a pagoda tile, say here finishing my 3rd floor, because now I've just left the 4th floor open for my opponent to build columns on. And remember, building columns on the 4th floor is 4 points per column. So if they have the red ability, they can sit there and tap that red ability, turn in a bunch of red cards, build a bunch of red columns, and maybe get 12, 16 points. That is a ton. You do not want to give them that ability. And that balance of trying to get what you need, get your own points, but not set up your opponent is really, really cool and really fun and really simple and easy. It doesn't hurt that the game is beautiful. It's great. It's got a really great table presence because of the 3D pagodas on there. And this is just overall such a good 2-player game. It's simple, it's easy, and I love it. So that is it for Pagoda. Pagoda is a great, great game. If you like 2-player games, or if you usually play with your spouse or your brother or sister or a friend or whatever, and you need a 2-player game that's not too expensive but is really, really fun, this is a great option. This is a game that I had never even heard of until one of our followers sent it to us saying like, hey, this is a 2-player game that no one really talks about, but is a great game. And she was right. It really is. But nonetheless, I'll go ahead and stop about Pagoda. Pagoda is lovely, and look how pretty the buildings are. But thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And thanks so much for joining me while we check out Pagoda here on Board Game Highlight. Have a good one. Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for watching that video. We honestly really appreciate it. We just want to take a second to remind you that we are sponsored by Restoration Games. We are also play all of our games on top of Game Toppers right here, which are these beautiful luxury game tables. And you can go to Game Topper LLC to find out more and to upgrade your gaming experience. We also have a Patreon. If you have a couple shekels lying around, you like what we do, please feel free to throw them at our faces. We will not say no to them. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you later. All right. Ooh. All right. Mikey, what do you want to do? You want to get Ty?
Nick!
Jesus. Oh my gosh. Big face disheveled Nick. You can't just do that.
Sorry, not sorry. What are you guys doing? You guys getting Thai food? I love Thai food. I want some. Give me some.
No, you can't have Thai food.
Why not?
No, you can't have Thai food because you don't eat food. You're not real.
You're not real.
No, I'm not dealing with you right now. I'm not dealing with you right now, okay?
I'll kill your children.
What?
What? You guys getting Thai food? What?